you went from 2 likes weekly on Bumble, and now drawing about 50 likes daily. So you've been a busy guy, right? You're getting harder and harder to catch. You won't return my calls anymore.
Well, I mean, this is like a part-time job keeping up with the traffic, you know.
Mhm.
It's feel a little bit like a traffic cop trying to figure out, all the incoming. But yeah, it's kind of funny you say Bumble's been fantastic this time around. First time around it was awful. I was getting like, exactly as you say, like one or two likes a week. I actually gave up on Bumble and I went to Match. That was okay for a while, but it kind of tapered off, and I think I just got merged into that lane of maybe like a 3 or a 4 instead of a 8 or a 9. And when I went back, I put all the new pictures on Match, and it really didn't take off like I thought it was. I was like, wow, this is kind of disappointing. Then I went on Bumble, and oh my gosh, it was like an explosion. Like I updated my Bumble profile. I think it was 8 o'clock on a Friday night, and I woke up Saturday after having breakfast and stuff. I got online and I looked, and I was like, there were like 60 likes that had come in overnight, and I thought it was stuff that had just piled in from a year because that was about the rate it was coming in. And I realized that no, they were all liking pictures that I had only loaded up the night before. So it was pretty crazy how it just like went off the charts.
And we're going to discuss just how effective it is because a lot of people don't. Yeah, I mean, you didn't believe me either. You were a skeptic. That's why I
No,
declined it. I was skeptic. You're like, you call it, yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was like, who is this guy?
Mhm.
I know how to take pictures. I'm in decent shape, and
Dude,
still
you're
got
a
a
DILF.
still got a full head of hair. I had to be able to pull this down myself on my own, and just like most guys, I think I put a few hours into it, and then just
Mhm.
started throwing pictures up that were just happened to be on my phone that had been taken from different whatever. And
Oh, we'll get to that. You're gonna love
yeah, I
them.
got some likes and stuff, but it just didn't really, it was pretty underwhelming, the response that I got first time around. So I did meet, I mean, I say that, but I did meet a couple nice ladies, just enough. But I go through 50 and find one, and it would take a couple weeks to get 50. So yeah,
And that's because the algorithm, and we'll get to that in a few. And I'll be showing your pictures. We already did the drive run, and you saw the picture that I put up that you were using, so you're comfortable with that, right?
yeah, yeah. You can make fun of me if you want. So
Oh, just breaking news, just let you know. Come this May 17th, New York Times interviewed me amongst other divorce coaches. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing the article when it drops. So watch for the link. I'll be putting it all over the place. You could imagine that because pretty exciting. So, but this is actually a picture that I took at my ex-wife's place. So we still get along, and hopefully you guys will have the opportunity to. But today, we're going to be addressing with Michael's input, some myths regarding online dating because a lot of people say that it doesn't work. What to consider when creating a profile? Because what does the average amount of guys get on likes? How to improve your visibility? The algorithm, what Michael was saying earlier. And the attractive versus hot question is, I'll put a hot guy over attractive guy any day. So, as a divorce coach, it's my job to make sure that you guys get out there and become the 10% when it comes down to online dating. So, I could pretty much take care of anything unless two things, the age and your height. Those I cannot, but I could definitely, I feel comfortable saying that you will be the top 10 percentile. You just have to look hot. So, couple of things on a non-scientific poll I did a while ago, actually before you showed up, Michael. Many of you guys, if you've been with the group for a while, like to take a poll. yeah, on the Facebook divorce group. And in the poll, I asked the guys how many likes they're getting, and about nearly two-thirds of the guys get one 0 to 2 actually likes on a dating app per week. And I think you were doing that too as well, right, Mike?
Yeah, yeah. I was getting I might go a day or two without a like, and then I might get two in a day, and then it kind of comes in little waves, but not. And it would be just kind of like, yeah, okay, okay, and I wasn't getting likes from what I would like.
Explain, please.
Yeah, so the, I mean, I'd get likes from women that I'd probably think were named like Myrtle or Edna, and not like uh, Suzanne or Camille, if that makes any sense. But
Cindy's.
I wasn't getting likes from any of the hot women, and even the women that were in my, and I'm not trying to find a young hot supermodel, but I was just not. I would find that I would get likes from women that I would never even notice on the street.
How about the girls you were being presented to? Did that change at all?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the what's put up in front of me on Bumble now is I'll go, if I get, I'll look at them in the morning sometimes, and I might have 10 or 20 likes in the morning. And then maybe at lunchtime, I'll look again and I might have another 10 likes between morning and lunchtime. And out of those 10 likes, 7 or 8 of them will be hot, and there'll be two or three undesirables in there. And, it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. And, it's, I even revamped my Hinge profile. And my Hinge, they only let you go 8 deep before you have to respond. And I hit that limit like all the time. I can't keep less than 8 or 10 in the queue to respond to. It just keeps on going over, just keeps on overflowing. It's like a part-time job trying to keep up with it. Since all the likes started coming in, I'm probably spending at least an hour, maybe 2 hours a night, just trying to keep up, and barely even a little bit of time to have good chats with the ones that I'm going to meet with. So, what we did this, I think we revamped my profile 2 weeks ago. And I think I've had 5 dates since then. And, it's been really hard to find time to keep up with everything that's coming in.
And one of the things that I'd say is you were mentioning about like who you're being presented to, and something that I talk to people is look, you got to think of online dating or these apps kind of like matchmakers, right? So if I'm a matchmaker, one of the things that I would say is if I'm a matchmaker, I would want to set up somebody that's compatible with you. So you're being compatible with people who are your equivalents. So that's one of the things. If you are not look, if you put in what you get out, and that's important. So if you're not getting in with good people, uh that's what they're thinking. So the hotter the girls, you're also being presented to hotter girls and good looking, and you're being seen them. You're seeing them. So that's one of the cool things.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being presented with 100 women, I'd say 50% of them are women that I'm attracted to. Where in the
Cool.
past, if I saw 10 women, one or two might be attractive. So it just completely changed the whole scale, put me in a whole different lane. And I just kind of feel like, I was on the wrong track before, and now I'm on track for really finding some very high quality companions out there.
So something I want to address when you got getting like two-thirds of the guys, right? Two-thirds of the guys are getting 0 to 2 likes per week. It can't be a looks issue. It's more of a presentation issue. 70% of the guys are not ugly. We're just not making the effort. It's bad lighting, angles, not just selfies on the car, bathroom selfies, selfies at the gym. You have to put some effort into it. And if someone like me, that when I was doing this, and I specialize on this, and I'm still putting my best foot forward, and I'm still doing research. You have to put the effort, guys. You have to put the effort, bottom line, and ask people to take pictures of you, or you take your own pictures, and we'll get into how to do it later. But by the way, if you're not part of this the Facebook group and you're watching us from YouTube, join us on Facebook. I'll put it in on the chat. Okay, so right. But we got to put in the effort, bottom line. So, question to the group, just the listeners. How many of you guys are feel like you're putting in, maximizing your online dating profile? As a matter of fact, how many people are? Uh, we got a couple participants. How many people are on online dating? Anyone want to chime in?
Yeah, I'll certainly chime in. I am, and I've been doing this for about 5 months or so now, and I've learned a metric ton of information since then.
You're a bookworm, Rich. I know that.
I
So
know. Yeah.
yeah, you're very intelligent. So, well, do you feel like you're maximizing your online dating profile?
I think I am. I think, I mean, I've read a lot. There's a lot of things online about this, and I would probably expect to hear some of the same things that I've heard here. But had some hits and misses. I actually took the approach that even if I didn't think that somebody was a good match, I would still go out on a coffee date, for instance, just to talk and just to get another data point, I guess I would say, and just to prove to myself that no, this is not the right person for me. But so what? I'll leave on a Tuesday night, have a cup of coffee, chit chat, and then just send a nice message like, hey, this is going to work out. But even that was as good for me just to know that, yeah, this really is not the person. So, because I've been surprised in the past, but it's been an interesting journey for sure. I think the same thing, not to tout my own successes, but yeah, at first one or two likes or whatever, and Facebook dating in particular, I could not keep up with it. It was an onslaught. So I had to shut the thing off. So it was a lot.
How many
I don't
likes are
know.
you getting?
It was insane. 20 a day, something like that. It was insane. I couldn't keep up with it.
Nice.
I mean, I
Uh,
actually had a spreadsheet because of course I did.
Well, I know what you do for a living, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, but you're studious, and that's really cool. That's amazing. So, but yeah, if you guys, I really appreciate your candor. And if you're not putting in your online dating profile, you're maximizing it. You really have to put some effort in it because uh, if you're being honest with yourself, if you think you could get at least 50 likes weekly, not a day, but a week in this case, you really should put some effort because it's doable. That'll put you up there. And, if you were to receive 50 likes daily, actually, applying game theory and statistical knowledge, we can estimate that 50 likes a day is about the 0.1 or the 1 percentile. So, Michael, you're in that category. And FYI, I'm not, I'm all about using strengths, and I used AI to calculate that. It wasn't me that I calculated it. So I was using AI and used game theories for that. So you're in the 0.1 or the 1 percentile, Michael, just to let you know.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So these aren't one-offs. I've had repeat clients do it, and even my prior video on online dating showed the same data. So it's not one-off. So Rich, challenge accepted. We could get you higher, bro. Seriously.
You got it.
So um, a lot of people think that it doesn't work, and that's because the average guy is putting on like getting 5 likes a week, but you're actually being shown to about 5,200 females, and that's about 1% of likes if you look at it. If you're getting that many likes a week, that's about 1% of likes, and it's not that it doesn't work. It is rigged though, that's for sure. You have to find how to play the game on this. It's not so much the attractivity, and I'll show the data on that later. Again, you don't have to be attractive, you just have to look good, you have to look hot. Bottom line, you have to put some effort into the pictures. And it's my job and my responsibility to increase your likes, the likes that you receive, and increase your visibility in the algorithm. In other words, get being shown more often, and being shown to better looking women like Michael is, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so that's what you're aiming for, the
So,
three-step process. Yes, please.
so I mean, I think it's I know we're super focused on the online dating piece and stuff, but I just have to say, I appreciate the insight that you shared with me when we met. It wasn't just the online. We talked about a lot of different things. We talked about some of the stuff I was going through with my divorce, and you've been there. You're very experienced with it, and just I really appreciate you asking me the questions to make sure I'm okay, I'm in a good spot, I'm doing what I want. And, I really, I just wanted to say I felt like, I had a special, not really special, that's not the right word. I had a friend that I could ask anything that I normally wouldn't be comfortable asking my friends, like, hey, what if I go out with a woman and I can't get it up? Just like, I felt like you were the guy who's helping me with the stuff that most divorced men probably go through. And online dating is a huge piece. It's a huge ego boost to get so much positive feedback from women when you feel like you're being pushed out from somebody that you love, maybe. But in addition to that, I really felt like you helped me get in a better spot. And this is a huge piece of it.
I really appreciate that. And I'll tell you guys the approach. And I want you guys to remember this because you're single now. Please remember this part. You are more normal than the average, than you're normal. Your needs are usually other people's needs. So if you want, you like sex, so fucking what? So does everyone else. So the women our age, we're mature adults, and we have to let ourselves be ourselves. And that's one of the things that you have to accept about you. Give yourself permission to be you, really you, and don't apologize for it.
Yeah.
And
And
mhm.
at the end of the day, when you've got 10 to 20 beautiful women to choose from, it sure puts your head in a great perspective. You know, there's the ego boost that you get from that. That's the kind of stuff that just you can't get anywhere else.
It's yeah, exactly. So a lot of guys they think that it's about a looks thing, but you know, you could be if even if you're not that attractive, it could be compensated for. So if you feel like, oh man, I'm not all that, there's things that you can do. There's only two things that can't be compensated for, and that's your height and your age. If you're a certain age, uh, that's something that you're gonna get cut off, or if you're a certain height. But everything else could be covered for. If you got blemishes or anything like that, that could be covered for it because it's really how you carry yourself, and your looks is not going to carry you, but your presence and your picture will. And that's going to be my promise to you guys that if this video, if it doesn't change your approach, or I mean, you only have yourself to blame. You're the one that's holding yourself back, and you have to really take ownership on this. Push yourself, push yourself, push yourself. Make sure that you get out of that zone, that comfort zone, and try new things. And like that's what Michael was also was mentioning that. Look, there's no reason to be afraid anymore, and we all got scared when we were going through a divorce. The uncertainty is scary, but you got to understand that you're more normal than you think. So you're not that outlier in that sense, and you got to give yourself permission. So, Michael, you want to tell us a little bit about the
Yeah.
your prior
So
online dating?
I was on Match and Bumble, and I actually gave up on Match because I think they still have me kind of on the wrong track in the algorithm. I haven't been able to break that. I actually just shut down the Match. So Bumble, I hadn't had a great experience with Bumble the first time around, so I was like, oh, I'll try it again. And like I said, it just went crazy overnight, and now it's like it's really tough to keep up and just go through all the likes and go through, and it's not just the likes, it's also the quality of the women that are being presented to me, where before there was just nothing that was coming my way. I'd look at it and say, okay, I'm not interested, not interested, not interested. Now it's like, instead of like, no, 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 maybe, it's yes, hell yes. Well, that one's too hot, but is she a is that a stripper, porn star, whatever? Yes, hell yes, that looks fun, but probably not the right one. And then maybe, and then oh, maybe no, and probably no. It's a completely different experience than what I had before with my old pictures.
Yeah, and I'm going to show them, show people that how you have, and they were actually really good. They were pretty good. So there was, I mean, I made fun of a couple of things, but no, they were pretty good. I mean, as you guys can see, Michael's he's attractive, successful. He's got a great sense of humor. He's more than good looks. He's smarter than he looks, right? You're an attractive guy. So um, so this was one of his online dating profile pictures, and he looks good and safe and attractive, but symmetrical, I guess you would say, the
That
beautiful and the
was that's one
blue.
of my professional, like my company, that's my headshot for my company. I was using that. So,
Yeah, yeah, we all have one in corporate. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So, I
the
mean, that's a
corporate
good
headshot.
picture. And during one of the way I was introduced with him is he shared his suit and nice
Yeah, I
suit.
went to Hong Kong and bought a suit, and we took a couple pictures while I was fitting the suit, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good picture." And I put it on my Facebook, and I got everybody comment, "Oh, you look great. You look like Daniel Craig and whatever. Look at 007, all this shit." And so I put it online, and it got a little bit of likes, but it was then obviously not the right setting.
No, but the good thing, I mean, you would clearly show that you went to someone that's bespoke, and it's so you can afford it. So that makes you look good. And like they say, wearing a well-fitted suit is to a man is to a female as lingerie is to a male. So so you got that going for you. It is. There was a couple of things that I would say about that picture. He looks elegant, but it's slightly on the conservative side that you can see the glasses and the way and even the suit, the cut of the suits are more on the conservative side. So, um, but it looks good. But I would say the background also you could see. I would probably change the background. That's something that you can do nowadays easily. So then
Yeah,
he's
I'm at the
got
tailor there.
yeah.
There's my Jeep.
And as one Jeep lover to another, I love it. But the glasses
Yeah, I
are
mean that's I'm wearing glasses. You can see the shirt doesn't, it's pulling around my waist and makes me look chubby, and it's, while it's a cool picture to show my buddies, it's not one that is attractive to females and really resonates with females. And that's one of the things that you help me with is, while it's a big part of me and I want to share what's a big part of me, I have to realize I've got 6 pictures to catch a woman's attention. And sharing my love for Jeep is not something I should probably do with one of those pictures.
I always thought that, look, a lot of guys, what they do is they'll buy, usually it's not you and I got a Jeep, but a lot of guys will get motorcycles. And it's almost a little bit of cliche, but if you like a motorcycle, don't put a picture of yourself on it. Just say that you ride motorcycles. Just do that. What you like to do, just put it on there. But it's probably a little more appropriate. But I love your Jeep, dude. Nice tires and everything. So. And then the next picture is him with his kids, and we were actually talking about this. He's conservative looking, so you look like what was I saying? The Venus flytrap. That
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
the wolf in sheep's clothing there.
exactly. So these are wolf in sheep's clothing. But look, I like the color of the shirt. It's nice contrast and it looks muscular. So uh, great. But yeah, he looks like a good, wholesome guy. Damn, dude. what did I say about relationships? If honesty, but if you could fake honesty, you're in, right? So that's that's you look like that. And then this
Yeah,
one,
I think one of the things that uh, uh, before you hit that other one,
yeah.
the the thing that surprised me when you told me this, and this picture I'm just looking at it and it just kind of triggered, is the women actually respond more to a serious look rather than a big smile like this. And
Yes.
I took some different pictures where during our sitting that where I was a little bit more serious looking, and I see what you mean. I'm getting the likes from this serious picture. I think it's okay to have, one or two smiling and then some serious pictures, but don't have the, hey, I'm just a happy jovial guy, because I don't know, there's something that in your statistics I didn't really believe it, but now I do, where women respond to a serious look.
Uh, you're more in your natural state when you don't when you're just looking at outside the camera, slightly off the camera, but you can still see how you look. Yeah, you're way. Back in the days, there was a thing about smiling when people would take their pictures because they were few and far between the pictures. But nowadays, with the digital age, where you could take, how many pictures did you and I take, Michael?
2,300.
Yeah, and you would think like and they go by quick, so it's not exactly like over days. It was an hour stuff.
Yeah,
And
and I mean, 2,300 sounds ridiculous, but I mean, I quickly eliminated all but 100 of those pictures because we were just clicking as fast as I could push the button, as I'm just moving around, just moving, trying to just try to different angles, move your head around, head up, down, left, right, and move your hands around and just continually moving. And then there's just that one shot that pops out where your head's in the right position, your eyes are connecting with the camera, and it just kind of like it jumps off the paper or jumps out of the computer as the one that kind of catches your attention. And if you don't take that many pictures, you'll miss it. Like if you hire a photographer and they take 100 pictures, they've missed that one that, or they get everything's perfect, but your collar is all jacked up and, but everything else is perfect or something. You got to have the details. Everything's got to be right.
yeah, and we're gonna get into photographers in a bit because you have in order to get the algorithm going, you have to continuously replenish your pictures. So that's gonna be important because if you hire a photographer, you'll put it update it once a year and that's it, and that's not necessarily the way to go. So Michael comes in, and if you want to tell us about our day, about how your day was, Michael, this is me meeting.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. I showed
Mom,
up and oh, are you gonna does it play or you want me to talk?
No, 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 go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I pulled up and uh Renee says, "Hey, get here early because we're gonna have a long day. We got a lot to do." So it's okay. So I think I stayed in a hotel that wasn't too far away. Rolled in after breakfast about 9 o'clock, and we had a full day. Went in. I had a shit ton of clothes. I had gotten up early and ironed a bunch of pants and shirts and stuff. I had hangers and suitcases and stuff, brought them all in, and then we just went through, and Renee helped me pick out a bunch of different outfits to wear, and made sure that everything was right. And it's funny, as much as I tried to kind of be ready and do all this stuff, one of our set of pictures, I look and the pants have, you can tell that they've been folded up. There's two creases on my legs from the folds, but it just, it's all those little details. You got to be ready.
And that's huge. Those little details, they add up. They add up, and they'll pay in dividends if you pay attention to them because that's yeah, completely. So it
Yeah.
was a full day. You arrived with a van full of clothing. Yeah, I mean it was a full day, but fortunately we had good weather, so that always helps because of the lighting, and that's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you had think, did we eat lunch or anything like, because it was a full day.
No, we powered through. We didn't have
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Good thing I had breakfast
So
before.
yeah, so you guys can see a little bit, Mike and I, like me meeting him. It was actually, he showed up into the house, went straight to the restroom, and I said, I'll be right there. So didn't wait for me outside. Let me retake, we hadn't met at this point. So he comes in, um, you know, and we checked that we did a little bit of what's gonna fit him and all that stuff, and you guys can see.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to test your undertone, right? So that's white light. This is blue light. Okay. You might be neutral. This is warm light. Which one do you feel that you look the best in?
You get really red and splotchy under the full red light,
Mm-hmm.
and the blue light I think washes me out. So yeah, I mean maybe neutral, so I get a little bit of colors.
And something I want that this is important because lighting is important because when you guys go and wear a certain particular type of clothing, there, you guys have looked at people and you said, "Yeah, man, they look like they've aged," or uh, I formed wearing the wrong color will make you look like you've aged, and wearing the right color will make you look more slim. It'll make you look more fit. It'll make you look more alive. It'll make you look like those details that we were talking about. And someone like me and with that's warm undertone. I should wear more like earth tones, right? Um, but avoiding like a stark black or icy blue or royal blue or bright white. But someone that's cool undertone, and certain people like Tom, who's in the team, or Michael, you actually get along with a lot. You were neutral, but if you're a cool undertone, uh, you could use jewel tones like rich, deep, highly saturated gemstones colors and stuff. So emerald, cobalt, and stuff like that. So we were just testing that out and stuff. So, and also the fit of it.
Yeah, I think
So what we're going to do is
Sorry, go ahead. No, B, please.
No, I was just saying that I brought some red clothes, I brought some blue clothes, and ultimately I think we ended up liking a lot of the blue clothes on me. And the shirt I'm wearing right now was one of the shirts that I brought that I thought I liked, and I thought I looked good in, and I thought it was a good color for me, and it actually was. This is the pictures we took with me wearing this shirt. Get a ton of likes. It's probably I think I get as many likes in this as I get for my main suit outfit. So it's like right up there.
That's actually something that we have to do. Put the suit out there at the front because when somebody's swiping, they're going through so many pictures and they're looking at people and you're in the market and it is like a meat market and your job is to stop them. It's kind of like that Facebook or Instagram reel that it stops you because you want to know more. It's just like that. That's how fast they're going through this stuff. And when you wear something that stands out, you don't want to look so conservative. You want to almost peacock at this point with highly saturated or highly contrast colors, wearing red or a suit. All of that stuff is going to make a difference. It's going to because that's going to slow the person down, and that's the thing. And when it slows the person down and they look at you, even if they don't like you, the algorithm at the very minimum, even if they don't like you, it doesn't matter. It's still a win if you slow them down because that shows that you caught their attention and their attraction. So please keep that in mind. You want to almost peacock in many ways. And the suit is one way to do it. So he comes in and things that we have to keep in mind is fit or the cut of the suit, the color and quality control. And you and I were talking about the collar earlier, but it's just a little background.
too long. Shit.
Yeah,
You might be able to pull this one off.
I feel like the jacket's tighter than the shirt.
I agree. Yes. Let's do the shirt in the master fold.
The master fold is a way to fold your shirts because it just adds to the forearms, which is highly it's one of the second sexiest part of a man's body, so that's why. And I always have my zipper down, so make sure that you have your zipper up. It does. The collar. I think you were taking some pictures, and the collar was all fucked up, so we had to start all over. Is that right? Is that what happened?
Yeah. So I don't know if you're going to show the other
Yeah, I'll show that later.
pictures,
Mhm.
but there's the one picture with me sitting down, and we probably took 100 pictures in that one sitting, maybe even more. And three-quarters of them, the collar was crooked. And it just, if I'm looking at you on the screen right now, and your collar is symmetrical, and it just goes up to your face, and it looks the way it should look. And if it's not like that, yeah, you got the
Stiff
sticker.
collar.
If it's not symmetrical like that, it throws everything off. And it's those little details that I never catch, and nobody's ever going to catch on their own. But you're watching, and you're kind of the director of the action. And when you get it right, it makes a difference.
There's a lot of times that my zipper would be down. My shirt. I've done whole videos where my shirt's completely, and I'm like, fuck it. That was an 8-hour shoot. I'm not gonna redo it, and it sucks. If people could pick it up and see it and show it, point it out, power to you, because you're like, it's demoralizing. You're like shit. So, but let's see. It's not, the thing about it is though, it's not that complicated, but you do have to put in the effort. And you have to. If not, you're just spinning wheels. And Michael, you were saying something earlier about when
Yeah,
you would.
I
Mhm.
mean, we put tens, hundreds of, maybe not hundreds, but we spend so much time looking at these apps, going through them, looking at profiles, and engaging with that. Way less time than we put the effort into preparing ourselves, putting our profile together. You need to put a lot of time putting your profile together before you're going to get out of it. It's just like anything else. You got to put your effort into it to get good results out of it. First time around, I probably put 2-3 hours, grabbed some pictures that were on my phone, dumped them on there, said some random things, and okay, I hope they're going to fall from the trees. It's just going to start raining women after my half-assed effort, and it didn't. And after I went through with you and revamped everything, and we even used a little bit of AI on what I was trying to say, and kind of tweak the words a little bit, and it's I'm getting these likes like, oh, I loved reading your profile, I love what you had to say, your pictures are fantastic. I get a lot of really, really positive feedback that I just wasn't getting at all before.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the Daniel Craig look. Seriously, you do. So yeah. And when preparing, there's certain materials that are recommended, right? Get a selfie. I mean, we'll show how it was used earlier, but get a selfie stick, a clicker, get it. Did you run out of space? I always get people running out of space
No,
in direction.
well,
Okay.
so I had just gotten a new phone, and I knew I was going to do this. So instead of getting 256 gigabytes, I got a 512 gigabyte phone. So I had 250 gigabytes of memory on my phone specifically set aside to do this, because I hate that fucking cloud. I didn't want to deal with that. So everything was there. It was easy, and I had plenty of space on my computer. It was easy to dump pictures or leave them on there. Actually, I had plenty of room on the phone, so we didn't have to do it. Didn't even have to put them on the computer. I was able to do that when I got home. I dumped all of them on there and just like delete, 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 and go through. And then I created folders and dragged the good pictures. I went from 2,300. I think I had 130 the first go round. And then I went through them again and had like 20 or 30 pictures that actually you and I went through. And then you had some pictures as well. We used some of your
Yeah.
pictures too.
Yeah.
I'm not
We
even
tried.
counting your pictures.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I mean, exactly. So it was a lot. We went through quite a bit, and you guys could see right here, for instance, here he is. Look at that. There he is trying posting. One of the things I tell guys to do a lot is adjust their clothing when that way they look more in a natural space.
Yeah,
there's a- Go
so
ahead.
I just wanted to comment on that. You don't really see it, but in my right hand, I've got the camera clicker. So I've got my camera on the selfie stick. I'm clicking away pictures, like pushing the button, like boom, 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 boom. Every about, one picture per second is being taken, and I'm just kind of moving, looking down, looking over. You're saying stuff. So, it goes fast, and you just take a ton and get a lot of content.
And the pocket square, well done. I mean, with pictures, it's such a difference. The pocket square pictures without the pocket square, when we were looking at them, it just didn't stand out as much. And even the
Yeah.
tie, the way you're not at the tie was the four in hand. I mean, all of those details that go and how you're showing the cuffs. I mean, those are details that need to be addressed.
Yeah,
So.
you pull up your sleeve a little bit so you can see your watch. So, you can see the details that you've got going. You got to make a good presentation.
So there he is. He's taking pictures right there. He's taking pictures, taking pictures. You can see that. I'm telling him, go
going.
back, go
Hand in
back.
the
Okay, now watch
pocket,
fortune.
hand out of the pocket,
Casually.
thumb in the
Yeah,
pocket, hand
you look
in,
there.
thumb out.
Like you don't feel-
It's go through all kinds of details.
And one of the things that a lot of guys go through is they start off stiff. So it's always a good idea to just kind of keep busy and keep
Oh,
moving.
fuck.
So this does this ended up being a good money shot. Um, So when posting, a lot of things that I tell guys is adjust their clothing, fidget, adjust your clothing. You need to do it anyways. Do something active like Michael was doing in quality. Try to do them outside. Have a cleaner environment. It's the good part is with AI, we could take out the background now, but so it's not a big deal. Try to have red because that's a stopper for when somebody's swiping, they stop, and try to raise your contrast and saturation. And here he is. Here, look, Michael, you could right here. You could hear when you're taking the pictures, and you guys could see, guys, that there's red. I try to keep the reds because so that way, when he does release them, but when they're out on the app, it slows the person down when they're looking at it. So
also want to make sure that the wires are stripped to the correct
so you can
length.
see that's him taking the picture. Those are his snaps, not me.
Down on the
So
installation.
it's funny. I look at this, and the thing that was going through my head when I was doing this is like, what the hell are we doing? Pictures in front of the computer. Why are we doing this? I'd never want to put this on my dating profile, picture of me on the computer. But I've got one of these pictures on my profile, and it gets likes. It gets a lot of likes, and it just kind of, I would have never guessed that, picture of me looking like I'm working in the backyard would get as many likes as me in a suit, or me, out in a bright colored shirt out in the park, or even like, out on the boat or something like that. But there it is.
Yeah, it's well, I mean you stand out. We'll show the picture at the end because you have it. I put it up there, the one you're using. So, but you
Okay.
can see that he's on his right hand. He's taking pictures, and you could hear the snot. That's me just adjusting it for him.
This is a fully loaded DC string inverter with.
So he's trying to just do action shots, so that then you can see I'm trying to get different angles. But he did use his own pictures. They're not my pictures, that's the whole point of it, is to learn how to do it. And that's when I work with guys. So guys, so I want to make that clear that if you guys are doing this, you don't have to be physically. It sure helps to be together, but you don't have to. It could be done virtually, and I do that a lot with people. So I always get them. We'll pick out clothing. So we'll get to your results in a bit. But one other thing is the guys think it's a lot of work when we're doing this. We always, why aren't we putting enough pictures? Because we think it's a lot of work. So I want to make this clear that when I first got started, before I was divorced, I was a corporate man. You have to understand, I worked for corporate America. I expected to be with one woman for the rest of my life. I didn't expect to be out there in the field. But by the way, I'm in a committed relationship. So, but back then when I got single again, it was one of those things, and I became complacent though, and I think this video says a lot because this is my attempt to try to rejuvenate, become young again, right? And trying to be hip with my kids and everything. And I didn't know how to take a selfie. And so
Oops,
I
wrong
got it
button.
documented that,
All right. Okay, let's try that again.
and,
Take
I was,
You're taking your video instead of a selfie.
exactly. Yeah. I was trying to take a selfie and it ended up being a video. My kids are, oh my God, what the heck? So, I didn't know what I was doing. I did not. And it was work. It was all new to me. And I was scared, and fear is what motivated me though. I hated taking selfies, and most guys do. We think it's vain, we think it's stupid. I mean, our exes, I'm sure, took a lot of selfies on Snapchat with those stupid ears, in their on their head, so that we look like dogs or whatever, or bunnies or whatever. Um, you know, um, we don't like taking pictures. We look at it as vanity, but I think it's highly ironic because. We don't like taking pictures, but we expect a shitload of good-looking women, and if you don't put in the time, you're not going to get anything. So that was my first selfie attempt, and now we're going to talk. This is what you and I were talking about, Michael, about the ELO
Yeah.
systems. So one of the things, it's not exactly the ELO system. If you guys play chess, you guys will know that the people are ranked according to the way how good you play, who you play against, who wants the moves that you make, and it's called the ELO system. And you earn your seat, right? So you're ranked. This is that's the way it works. And when that's how online dating is, you get ranked. So somebody is looking at you that is from a particular geography, a particular economic background, what even what they're wearing, all of that stuff. This is all AI. I mean, they're highly intelligent. They're not they're not going to set you up with some. They're not going to show you if you don't put the effort to a really good looking woman, because they're going to say like, holy, you're going to bring down. They're going to say that, like, for instance, Bumble. They would say this person is just. Bumble sucks because all I'm seeing is are the are the non-attractive guys or not good-looking guys. So you have to put your effort in it so that you do get, and so that you are introduced to good-looking women, and also you are seeing yourself good-looking women, like Michael was saying. And that is the key. Even if you slow a female down by looking at you, that's going to help the algorithm. So it kind of think of it as the chess elo system. That it's not exactly like that, but you could kind of think about that. You're given
Yeah,
a
and
score.
it really works. I mean, you nailed it because what I was looking at before, I'd be like, what is this? No, 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 no. It used to be like, no, no, hell no. What and that used to be kind of my experience. And then now it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, let me look at the others. Oh, okay, that one's better than that. And it's like, well, okay, and that's kind of it's not all
You get
likes, but I'm definitely getting more quality than I would have expected to get.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a lot of likes, which means tit for tat. You're getting a lot of likes, so in other words, you're going to be introduced to better looking women. If you get less likes, you'll fall off the face of the earth.
Even when I'm searching, I'm getting just a way better variety. It went from kind of a 3s and 4s to 8s and 9s. It just made a quantum leap in the quality. And I was thinking, wow, that before there just weren't that many hot women on there. There weren't many good looking, high quality, and now I have full access to them. It's crazy. I'm on a totally different network now.
The way to think about it is, if you're a matchmaker, I'm a matchmaker, right? I got 15 guys and 15 girls. I'm going to try to pair them up according to compatibility. That's the way to see it. So, but I mean, if we go and we talk about, oh, they gotta like me for who I am and all that kind of stuff, and next thing you know, we are expecting some really good, attractive women. It's pretty hypocritical because you have to put your effort to at top. So we'll put this, expecting this, and we get this, right? And so that's how we got to change that. You have to put effort in it and stuff. So, um, but something to address is that women aren't into looks as much as we overrate looks. We think that you have to be really attractive, but that's not what the data shows. In fact, in one of the largest online surveys ever conducted on dating, it shows that the OkCupid did a study with over 500,000 participants, and what it did is it put participants into two genders, obviously the men, women, and had them compare in the looks range. Guys would rate the women, and you can see it's a curvilinear line from 0 to 5. They use 0 to 5 for some reason, and it was a curvilinear line. So what ends up happening is, guys will rate the women, and most of the women are 2.5, which is about right. But in this case, most women thought the guys were unattractive. So if you're relying on your looks, it's kind of arrogance right there. Uh, Most guys got 0s to 1 and then tapered down. But let's look at how much when it came down to messaging. Guys would message women according to looks at around 4 and then taper down. Women, on the other hand, they didn't give a shit. It was more about the image and how you make them feel in the picture itself. So you could see that it's happening, like they are more prone to reach out to unattractive women, to unattractive men than men are prone to reach out to unattractive women. So you have to put your best step forward. A guy will look at a girl, if she's attractive, boom, 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 yes, 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 yes. But we don't, I mean, let's face it, our standards are different, but women, it's not even about the money, it's just the story that you tell in the picture. And that has to go a long way. And I want to almost quantify it. And if I think I want to say that it's about 65% the image quality more than the attractiveness or what you write on your profile. So you want to put a stopper there. And you were talking about this earlier, Michael. In the same study, it evaluated how much messaging that men and women get. By a certain age, women at 21, 22, that's when they maximize the number of messages, and then it tapers down. Guys were late bloomers. We're about 26. That's when we start surpassing women. I'll tell you this, when I was dating back in the days, a friend of mine, I became friends with a couple of the people I would date, and we actually she's like, oh, let me see how many you got, and she was like, wow, you have way more than me. And the reason why is because you have to put your foot forward, and you could see that guys surpass women at about 26, and women taper down. By the age of 48, guys receive twice as many messages as women. So it's really important, gentlemen, that you do put your step forward, your best foot forward. And you were saying something about this, Michael.
Yeah, so I don't know if I totally agree with this. I see I I feel like women that there's an age of men that they're a guy from 35 to like 48, your prime earning years, when you're making the money, you're stable, you got your house, and you're still young enough to make kids and stuff like that. I think that's the sweet spot where the women are really attracted. That I'm past that a while back, but I I see women attracted to that across the board. Young women all the way up to, from like women 26 to 56 are all attracted to that same group of guys. And it's really kind of interesting. And then you get over 50 and drops off pretty good, and then you get over 60 and it kind of falls off the cliff. So you got to start doing different things. But it's putting yourself out there and making yourself available, and just got to get out there.
I was doing the calculation, and if you're getting about, and this is about 100 likes a week, there's 100 likes a week, you're hitting about 10% likes when a female sees you. Just that's just to let you know. So if you're getting about 100 likes a week, you're hitting about, this is really fuzzy math, by the way, but about 100%.
So I look
10%.
You can look at how many people have seen your profile, and then you can see how many likes. If you look at it between the time you were last on the app and when you're currently on the app. And when I do that, if I've got 20 likes or 30 likes, I'm seeing that there might have been 60 people. I'm getting about 30% return, so like 1 out of 3 women that look at my picture hit the like button, which is pretty high.
That's about right. Yeah.
So
Michael, you there?
Pretty damn high. Can you hear me?
We lose Michael.
Can
Michael,
you not hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You're just fine. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I don't know.
My
I lost
apologies.
Renee for a minute. Yeah, so I had the ratio is way higher than it was before.
30%, that's about, yeah. And if you're getting 50 a day, that's about 30%. If doing the same fuzzy math that I did earlier. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is your market. If you're not getting anything, you can't blame it on other people. I know that you guys feel like a lot of us are tired. We want to give ourselves permission to vent. But it does no good just to vent. You have to be solution focused, and that's one of the things. So we have to put ourselves out there and try new things. And if it isn't working, then try something else. So these are some common mistakes that guys make. Okay. And I have a lot of clients that have done this. We hire photographers. Photographers, they take great classy pictures. But you want to be the object of your desire. There's a beautiful picture. It was in Costa Rica with my kids, really good picture, but it cost me about $60, $65 for the picture alone. And I mean, it's gonna be dated, it's gonna be gauged, but that's a beautiful freaking skyline. Taking selfies. I mean, that's just lazy. We're not taking the picture serious. I purposely wanted the mirror to show that a lot of the times we don't even bother to clean up the mirror. So, take it seriously, because if you're not taking it seriously, what's going to happen is the females will not take you seriously, and they'll say, this guy's a joker, he's not taking it seriously. So, and our egos, they get in the way. We got that shit of like, she's got to like me for myself and kind of stuff. So that's, we can't allow that. We can't allow our egos to get in the way, because this is, first of all, our market, and you want to get people that are putting their best foot forward, and you want to be taken serious. So, and you got to pop out. You got to have your most badass picture. I don't think it's a good idea to get a photographer, because you should learn to take pictures, because the algorithm, once the algorithm changes, it changes. When you add pictures, you're changing the algorithm to a better. But if you put something and you're not adding for a year later, or even some guys will do 18 months, we're talking about different things. So we're talking about an opportunity missed, because they're going to lower you in the algorithm. You have to update them constantly, and you have to like change things on the app. The more you're in the app, the more you're going to be shown as well. So these are examples of non-badass pictures. I mean, I actually saw this, and I was like dumbfounded, right? Like, why would a photographer take a picture of a dude like this? Or this is actually me. And look, that's one of the things, like you and I were talking about, Michael, that
the belt loop.
dude, yeah. I mean, I hate that. And it's an outdated picture.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So you guys, I don't know if you can see in your thing, but his belt is not through the belt loop on his back there. So he's missed the belt loop there where he's got the thing.
Yeah. But that and that's what a lot of guys do, right? You were talking about this, about missing the collar, messing up. You know, that's one of the things that photographers just don't train you in, and they aren't trained in. They know how to take a good picture. This was taken by a photographer, and you can see that it was missed, but that's not a big deal. There's like an error right here. That's not a big deal. So, you know, when taking pictures, be well dressed, quality control yourself, take a selfie stick, as you guys saw Michael doing it with the selfie stick and the clicker. Um, Pick out great lighting. I'll address lighting in a bit second. We're almost done, and put the camera in portrait mode. Nowadays, it's not as significant because you could always use AI for it. But something else is put on headphones. If you get nervous, put on headphones, and I'll show you guys what I mean. Not these obnoxious ones, but just little earbuds. That way you tune people out, you stay focused on the picture. And even when I do it all the time when I'm recording, it gives me more energy. I'm not listening to music right now, obviously, but like, look, you'll see this picture, the one I showed earlier. And if you look at it, this is actually from another picture. That's the original one. And you could see like that black little tar looking thing in my ear. It's not dirt. It's actually earbuds that I put on because I tune people out. When I record, I tend to tune people out. I talk louder, more energetic. So you want to show that kind of energy. If you're listening to good music that gets you pumped, you just tune people out, and you could see the clicker right here. So you can see it's cut off here, but you can see the clicker here. And so do what I mean. It is a lot. It is a fashion show, so to speak. But I was just talking to a client of mine yesterday he's doing his own videos now on exercise, right? He's doing his videos and he's like, I feel nervous. I don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. And that's what I told him. I go, use a teleprompter, and in the teleprompter, you could just you could use your rhythm and just start rapping whatever you have to say. But you have your earbuds giving you the energy, and you could just tune that out and just talking. Sounds like you're fighting amongst yourself, talking to yourself, but it doesn't matter because because they're not seeing it, they're not hearing it. So, but that's something for you, everyone. Just put on earbuds. This is probably the only Apple product I have. I'm not an Apple guy, but and you guys could see right here, it would be an example of good lighting. And I have this video for the guys in the team.
The only reason why you want the Bluetooth device so that
Now, one thing I want to mention is this was at 5:30 in the morning. So lighting is so important. Does that place look familiar to you, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where you're do your hit training.
Yeah. And bench is somewhere here.
Yeah.
So, but you guys can see you got the selfie stick, you got the clicker, the gloves. I think you used also. So you can see. And
put the camera in portrait mode. Very important. That way you get a good.
So you guys, you're just taking pictures. That's that's the whole job behind it.
So that portrait mode, I don't know if everybody understands why you want to put it in portrait mode, but when you put the camera in portrait mode, it puts a very narrow field of focus. So you're in focus and the stuff around is blurred. So that it makes it so you're the focal point, and it's really easy to see on a picture. It makes a much more dynamic picture from an impression standpoint, and it really makes you the focus. You're the complete focus.
Yeah, and right here you can see it. I think I have this one when I'm recording it because I have two tripods here. One that I'm taking the picture and the other one right in front of me, and that's also in portrait mode. So you stand out exactly. Your focal point stands. You're the center of attention, and handle it like a professional. Michael, I gotta say, you were extremely professional. You got out of your zone. It's hard to get you out of your zone anyways. You're very easy. You have a big zone is what I'm trying to say. But don't half-ass it. If your outfit's not ready, then wear another one. Wear different clothing styles. So you and I, Mark, I think we counted like 11 different outfits that you tried on that day.
Yeah, it was like a dozen.
So
what I want
you could see, like I am coaching Michael in one of the shoes. So
it's like pose like you're cold, right? Like you're fucking cold, and just walk like this, backwards like this.
See,
put
you see
energy
the action
behind it,
shot right there that he.
skip, because the camera picks up on that shit. You're cold, that kind of shit. All right,
Excuse my language.
all right, let's do it.
Yeah, this was hard for
There
me.
you
I
go.
was like, I don't know.
Relax it.
I'm
Come on.
What was that?
that was the hardest part was the act trying to get some good pictures acting like I'm cold. I think we ended up. I think that's my main profile pictures is one of those shots, but it was really kind of like I didn't. I'm like, dude, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, I think I said it something like this. I muted it, but I think you can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
And at one point, you're like, "Where are you at?" Your head's not in it.
Yeah, it is. You have to get in it, and like I said, put on music. You tune people out all the time and stuff. So I mean,
Yeah.
Like,
so you can see him like
yeah, there you go. You're cold. You're fucking cold, dude. Look down. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming.
So he's got and you could hear the clicker. He's using the clicker right there. Uh, it's not rocket science.
So what I want you to do is
Um, we did use about 10 or 11 clothing. Let's say a dozen. Just every picture has to have a story, and that's one of the things you got. What am I trying to portray here? And once you're taken, the 2,500, Michael, 2,300, I guess.
2,300 plus years. I probably had 2,500.
Oh, much more than that, dude. I took, by far. Crop the pictures appropriately, blur the background so you get a narrow focal point, increase the saturation, contrast. That's something that I've learned through YouTube because of the pictures. The click-through rate goes higher if you increase the contrast or saturation. Eliminate the background noise, and by that I mean like any shit or clutter that you have in the background. You say I had to get rid of it. Caption some pictures. You say I'd ask it if you that's what you should say. Like I use that also when I post something on Instagram. But you could see that these are certain editing, and you and I spent how many hours editing the pictures?
Probably. I'm sure we've got at least 8 hours into editing.
You think? Really?
Yeah, because we went through. I think we went through 3 rounds, and back and counting our own time. I think we probably spent 4 hours together plus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
At least that amount of time individually, because I know you did a bunch of work on the ones that we liked and tweaking the results there. You changed some of the backgrounds and you did a few things there and added some stuff and cleaned them up. So yeah, and then probably had 4 hours into just going through the pictures and picking out the ones that I wanted to share back with you and loading them up on the I use Google Drive when I wanted to share them, and then just gave you the link.
Yeah, that's what and then going through it, and this is one picture that you took. Look at the different, I mean, the contrast you do. I mean, this is beautiful right there. Look at the detail, just the puka shells, good enough right there. The watch, those attention to details, they stand out. You can see that there's more contrast and saturation in this particular picture. So it almost looks fake, and it's not.
No, it looks like I'm dropped in front of a picture.
Yeah, no, it's not, guys. It really isn't. That's it's another one right there. You could also see like the bracelet. You could see that he's got the clicker.
This is a picture where my pants are wrinkled. We cropped it out, but
that's the one. That's right.
yeah, I was pissed that my pants were wrinkled in that picture.
That's the one. Yeah. I mean, but you could see, and one of the things is even the rolling of the sleeve is going to be important. The belt's going to be important. I mean, all of the above, right? So important. And you notice that he's not looking or smiling at the camera. He's looking to the side, and his chin is down. You want to keep the chin down so that way you do this, you look you could see less of the face if the chin is up. So that's something that I always tell the guys to do. There it is. That's the picture right there. I mean, he's just laughing. He's looking to the side. He's look, dude, you look at. That's the thing. When you and I, when we took the pictures, it's like, dude, we got so much to work with in a good way, right? It's not like a lot. It's like we got too much actually, and I was getting worried. And I think I told you that. But you can see that these pictures, So this is the one that you were mentioning, right, Michael?
Yeah, that one's online, and that gets a lot of likes.
So and
A lot more than I thought it would.
yeah, exactly. This is not the end result. I think we used another one, but you could see like that's another way to put it. He had the tie, just took it off. The pocket square is like it's lower, so it's just decreasing. You start with a more formal, and you decrease the formality as you go on throughout the day. And that's
With your red dot on that looks really good. I think a red pocket square would have looked great in that outfit.
Yes, you're correct. I think the presidential fold here in the pocket square was I think that pocket square did have like a trim of red, but it came
Yeah.
in. And you're right. That's something that you and I have wanted to do is put red in the background, just because it does stand out. If you could see, like, I mean, like right here, but even in my own, and I always try to leave a track when I work with the guys of some kind of red, and even the umbrella that you had, that you used, because it was raining. It was raining, correct?
Yeah, that was kind of drizzly when
It
we
was
were
good,
taking those
yeah.
pictures.
It's a nice day. So, oh, there it is, the umbrella. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So we try to use, as much as we can. You can see, I mean, it's an action shot. He's not looking like he's smiling in the camera and stuff like that. And, it's a good, nice, crispy picture. A scarf actually would have been nice and something like that, but it's also open, so that's cool. And I know, and you can see we cropped this part out as well, but you can see the formality, the way it's going. But is this, let's see, we don't have it. Did I put it up there? The one where no, I didn't put it up. The one that you actually used on your actual profile picture, where you got where you got the coat, the overcoat.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Peacoat.
it was a peacoat. That's correct. And this picture, I mean, you want to say something about it? Is this one's getting a lot?
Yeah. So this one is the one that I was kind of talking about earlier. With we took about 100 pictures in this sitting, and my collar was screwed up, and they just didn't look right. And this particular picture, so we straightened it out, and you take the pictures, and then you kind of look at them, and I was like, oh, the collar's kind of wanky. So we straightened it out, used the collar stiffener, and got everything kind of lined up. And then you can see the results in this picture where it looks very uniform, and it's really surprising how that little detail makes such a big difference when you look at these pictures. I would have thought, that's bullshit, nobody cares, but it really matters, and women pay attention to detail. You got to realize that, they just key in on that stuff. So if it's not right, it's not right.
Hey, Michael, that wasn't even the one that you ended up using. You used a better one, correct?
Yeah, the one I have, I think I'm a little bit more squared up and a little bit more smiling with the camera.
You were to the side,
actually
I
on my
thought.
profile.
But look at the color behind it, because that's gonna stand out, guys. When you guys look at the color, it stands out. And almost, this is not a beach, but it almost looked like it's walking to the beach, but it's not. So when try to add colors, try to stay away from black. And the fact that he's sitting down, what did I tell you about sitting down in pictures?
Yeah, you were saying that it's really hard to get a good sitting picture, but we took a couple different outfits on this bench, and we ended up with some really good shots. So they that we ended up with some nice ones. I don't know. I think it was kind of like that was getting late in the day, and I was just kind of relaxed, and the lighting was good, and the background was good. So they ended up being pretty nice pictures.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it, and we took about 12 pictures. I mean, 12 different outfits, and to use 6, that gives you a lot of work to work with in the future.
Well, we say we use 12 outfits for this particular sitting. I think I changed my shirt. Well, it's funny. I I think I changed my pants, but I think I wore this shirt and three other shirts at that same bench. So, when you're looking at the combination of we've had we've had probably six different, maybe even eight different areas where we took pictures, and then we used multiple outfits in each area. So we had a lot of variety.
Yeah, it was so and I think that's it. But something to keep in mind when you're taking the pictures, gentlemen, is what's your brand? Build it. What story do you want to tell people? You want to tell people that you're when you put something out there, it's going to everyone else. You want to let them know that you're somebody, that you mean more, that you mean more to yourself than the average guy, that you value yourself, that you're bigger than life, that you're successful and you're thriving. And something else is have your kids, get them involved in these conversations, because when you get them involved, we're missing a big part of our life. I mean, when you're single, the whole conventional wisdom tells us that we're going to that we shouldn't talk about our dating life because, well, we're married when we have kids and stuff like that. Where's our wife or the mother of the children? And the thing is that we have to. If you're single, a lot of the guys like get them included. Don't take opportunity in that. See it as an opportunity. Get them involved. Say, hey, you're going to be my wingman. Let them take the pictures. Let them tell you what works and what doesn't. It depends on the age, of course, but that's how I found out about online dating. My son, he was 9, and he goes, "Try Tinder, Dad." I honestly did not know that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was, that I did not know that there was online dating and it was so big. And he told me about Tinder. My 9-year-old, and it's
So
crazy.
my kids, I have twin sons that are 16. So, and right now there's not much more important in their world than girls. So, it's kind of fun because uh, we'll go somewhere and they'll see me looking at a woman, or they'll see something like, "Hey, Dad, that those two women over there were checking you out," or something like that, and we kind of go back and forth, and I'll see a couple girls that are starting to act silly because my sons are walking around, and that they don't, they're young teenage girls and they don't know how to act around guys and stuff. So it's a tremendous amount of fun going through sharing these experiences and helping each other, and they help me just as much as I help them. It's a lot of fun. So it's a really connect on the whole um them dating and me and everything, so it's good.
It's an opportunity missed if you don't. Seriously, it
Yeah.
is. I don't know why conventional, like you're single, give yourself permission to feel and single. And I mean, you don't, someone asked their son for permission, and I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of power that the kids have. Just say, hey guys, I want to meet a good woman. I'm gonna join online dating. What do you guys, I need a wingman. Take my pictures. What kind of kid would say no to that? You're involving them in something. So
And I can't even explain how good it feels when your son looks at you and says, you know, "Wow, Dad, those women were checking you out," and he's looking, and he's admiring you for having charisma and attraction around the women. And when you take charge and you present yourself in a way where you're confident and the women take notice, your sons notice that happening, and it gives them confidence because they're your sons. So you got to set a good example for your sons, and it's a lot of fun. It's really it's really rewarding.
yeah. And then you learn their lingo. Hey, that's got Riz because he's got some
Oh
Riz.
yeah, here the
And,
Rizzler.
yeah, the Rizzlers. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's a whole new different
Oh,
word.
I hear that. I'm like, what's that mean? Oh, you got Riz. What? I got
Yeah,
what?
yeah, exactly. So, well, thank you everybody for your time, and I hope you guys got something out of it. Please leave a comment on something that you learned from today. uh, regarding online dating. And the one thing that I would say is we think that we're so different when in reality is we're so much more alike than you think. And so give yourself permission to be that person that you want to be, because that's a waste of a life if not. And don't let this crisis or tragedy, like Churchill said, don't let it go to waste. Make an opportunity out of something. And I never expected to be in these shoes, right? Nobody grows up saying like that, but you gotta believe me, it's probably the best thing that happened to me. So thank you guys. And Michael, thank you very much for your time, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, just remember, guys, it's our time. It's our time. You got to take advantage of it.
Amen. Thank you very much.